You guys excited for today? We got the NFL mock draft that we're going to be doing today. Been looking forward to this for a little bit.
It'll be a good one.
Yeah, I'm hyped for it. I'm ready to go. Get the listeners ready for the NFL draft.
Let's
see how many we can get right here.
I mean, we have a few rules which I think are going to change a little bit of how the draft works because ours is different from what's going to really happen. But I mean, let's just get into it. So we're going to draft as if we are participating for that team that's coming up. I've randomly selected the order so everyone has a different team. If your team drafts twice, I made you draft for both of those picks. We're not allowed to trade any of the picks, and we're just drafting as the draft board goes. So that's the big difference, because in the NFL draft, you're probably going to see a lot of trades, especially like Chris and I said last week. Those first 10 teams, I could see 3 or 4 of them already trading those picks down to get something else. So, but
wait, just gonna... no trades? I already had one in line with Chris.
Yeah, I was going to take advantage of you anyways.
Man. We had a big trade already. I got to change the whole script now.
Yeah, I forgot to send the fax. Sorry, buddy.
Man.
Cleveland? So we'll just go through that. We're going to go through all 32 teams, and then after the draft's over, we can take a look back at this and see how close we really were. So with that, the Jacksonville Jaguars are officially on the clock. I don't know how long it's going to take them to make this pick. I am representing the Jacksonville Jaguars, so I'll just take my time, make sure I got all the right guys.
I got to write down who you pick, so let me know.
This is going to be, I'm going to shock you guys, okay?
Are we going hot take first pick here? First pick, hot take?
Sure, you guys can hot take it all you want.
just throw the board right off, first pick.
All right, the pick is in. The Jacksonville Jaguars will select out of Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence.
Whoa!
We feel, I know, shocker there, right?
Shock.
He is going to change the franchise. They're in dire need of a quarterback, and I feel that obviously he's the best quarterback there. He's a generational talent. We've been talking about him for a few weeks now. There's not really much else to say. He's the number one, and he's going to hopefully propel the Jacksonville Jaguars into being a good team again. We'll see what happens. But with that, the New York Jets are officially on the clock.
With the second pick of the 2021 NFL entry draft, the New York Football Jets will be selecting quarterback out of BYU, Zack Wilson. One of the high-ceiling QBs entering the draft, Zack Wilson's arm and accuracy make him one of the most intriguing QBs. Drawing comparison to Patrick Mahomes already, look for Wilson to be the linchpin in the Mike LaFleur offense, where his skill set will make him an exact fit.
All right, and with that, the San Francisco 49ers are on the clock. They traded up for this pick, so which defensive player are they going with?
Well, like you said, we did trade up for this pick, so we're going to pick a very, very big piece right here. With the third overall pick in the 2021 NFL entry draft, the San Francisco 49ers are selecting quarterback out of Ohio State, Justin Fields.
Ooh, nice.
Very nice.
I know a lot of rumors have been going around about it being a Mac Jones situation, but I think Fields is the guy that they need to take. I think Fields is pretty much the second best quarterback in this class. I think his skills, his agility, his dual threat action and play, I think that makes him one of the more effective and elusive quarterbacks in this draft. And I think his past experiences with Kyle Shanahan as well are just going to be to confirm that it's going to be Justin Fields to San Fran.
I like it.
All right, the Atlanta Falcons are on the clock.
I'm not the commissioner.
I have to give you the taste of Roger Goodell, James.
Oh,
No, I was giving it to James.
Yeah. The Atlanta Falcons are selecting tight end Kyle Pitts from Florida.
Ooh.
So, quite frankly, Pitts right here is just too difficult to pass up on for me. He's a unique talent. He's a mismatch for any opponent. He is 6'6" size. His speed and hands would cause problems for defensive coordinators all over the league, especially when they already have to account for Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. So he's just going to help those guys also just to become better in fantasy. So, after the Falcons decided to restructure Matt Ryan's contract, that gave him a lot more flexibility to add more weapons to that team. So Kyle Pitts is one of the best offensive weapons in this draft. It's going to make Atlanta very dangerous and difficult to defend.
Good pick. I like it. I mean, probably should have went quarterback, but all right. With the fifth pick, the Cincinnati Bengals are on the clock.
Frank, man, with the lack of linebacker that the New Orleans Saints have, man, I do not like Kyle Pitts to Atlanta, brother. I do not like it at all. I do not want to see that team 2 times a year. But with the fifth pick of the 2021 NFL entry draft, the Cincinnati Bengals will be selecting offensive tackle out of Oregon, Penei Sewell. Not the sexy pick that everyone wants, but the Bengals will add more weapons in the later rounds where they have had success in the past.
Good pick, and him dropping that far is not bad. All right. The Miami Dolphins, who also traded up, are on the clock. Just checking my notes here as I am the Miami Dolphins taker here.
This is an intriguing pick because they traded back from 3 to 12 and then 12 to back up to 6. So they're obviously have a target in mind that they want, but would have been too high of a pick at 3. But they're comfortable picking him at 6, I believe. So my guess is wide receiver, but we'll see what they do.
The Miami Dolphins are selecting wide receiver JaMarr Chase.
Great pick.
The Detroit Lions are on the clock.
You think Chase finished his high his first year?
I think Chase will. Yeah, I think he'll do well.
Out, eh? Yeah,
definitely.
He's a little shorter than what I thought he was going to be measured at. He was measured in at 6 feet, so he's a little shorter. But his pro day and his measurables for a guy that missed a year of football was amazing.
All right, this time I'm going to unmute my mic.
It's a typical Lions move, I would say.
I need the music, Anyways, well, my Detroit Lions are going to select Jalen Waddle, wide receiver out of Alabama.
Nice pick.
Detroit can become extremely dangerous through the air by drafting. Oh, no, that's not true.
That was the JaMarr Chase nose.
Yes, no, that was the.
Did you get sniped?
No,
you got sniped.
I was going wide receivers, but this is fun.
All right, who's pick 8?
The Carolina Panthers are on the clock.
Okay, 2 wide receivers going back to back. Very interesting. I think with the 8th overall pick, the Carolina Panthers are going to select offensive lineman Rashawn Slater from Northwestern.
That's huge.
They got to protect their new quarterback in Sam Darnold. And, they got to protect Christian McCaffrey as well because of all his injury problems from last season. So this is going to bolster that offensive line and, just make them more dangerous than they already are.
I was debating him at the Miami Dolphins spot, so that was it was tough between the two. All right, number 9, the Denver Broncos are on the clock, or as Sam would call them, the Denver Donkeys.
He knows best, right?
That's true.
With the 9th pick of the NFL entry draft, the Denver Broncos are selecting. Most people would think they're going to pick a quarterback here. But as me and James talked about last week, as James mentioned, he thinks they're going to stick with Locke. So with the 9th pick, the Denver Broncos will be selecting cornerback from Alabama, Patrick Surtain. Filling one of the bigger needs on the team, Patrick is slated to be a Week 1 starter, and he'll fill a dire need that the Denver Broncos are looking for.
Ooh.
No, he was supposed to drop to 10.
Yeah, Nick and James don't like
I
that
wasn't
one.
giving him to the
I
Cowboys.
had him lined up. I had him lined up.
I wasn't giving him to the Cowboys.
So you really think that even though Trey Lance has dropped this far, they ain't going to take Trey Lance?
I mean, I think their need of a cornerback is more than what they need in a quarterback. I give Drew Lock another shot with another full off season. He's got the talent. He's shown that he's capable to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. They've built a good team around him. Now all they got to do is build the defense to stop the other offenses. I mean, when you're in a division with Kansas City, you gotta build from the DBs, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and remember, he's not the actual GM, Mr. John Elway. He's drafting as Chris, who would pick for that team. So, I mean, that one's probably one of the ones I think won't be the same when we come to draft day. But let's see what happens. On the clock, the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, look, I got this one wrapped up too. You know, I'm wearing the Cowboys shirt, the hat.
Better
We're
make this
good
count.
I'm going to make it count, of course. With the number 10 pick in the NFL entry draft, the Cowboys are going to select cornerback out of South Carolina, J.C. Horn.
Great pick. Great pick.
Yeah. Chris and I talked about him last week too, possibly going there, and
Yep.
I saw some tape on him. He looks good, so we'll see. I think any defensive player helps.
Oh, yeah. They definitely need that defense. They got the offense. It's like, just get us some defense so we can, stay in games and we don't have to outscore the other team. Just let us, yeah.
As much as you hope Pitts is going to be there, I don't think he's going to be there.
No, I'm okay with that. It's okay.
Yeah,
With
exactly.
the 11th pick on the clock are the New York Giants. That's me again, and I mean, let's stick to the trend of last pick. So the New York Giants are going to select wide receiver DeVonta Smith. They need some help desperately. I know they added Golladay. I know they have the other wide receivers there as well, Slayton and Shepard's still there. But I think with Golladay and then you add Smith on the other side, it just increases the chances for Jones to be able to actually throw better, and he'll have a better year this year too. And I think this team's going to fly with Saquon coming back. This offense is going to be scary. Being a Cowboy fan, I don't like it, but having Mr. Horn there to stop him, I think will be nice. So with that, on to the next rivalry in the Cowboys selections there. Number 12 goes to Philadelphia. You're on the clock.
Nice little NFC East run here. So,
That's how good we were in the NFC East this year.
yeah, 3 top 12 picks here. I'm surprised the Washington football team's not picking top 10. Imagine that'd be something else. But anyways, enough of the banter. I'm not going to lie. I was going to go one of the top 3 wide receivers if they were here. But if finding a day one starter on defense is the goal, Caleb Farley, cornerback out of Virginia Tech, is our pick here for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's going to pair nicely with big play Slay. They gotta shut down the Zeke's there now, and Dak is back, so they're gonna need to shut him down. So they're gonna go cornerback to lock up the other side.
Dang, I'd hope he'd drop. That's 3 corners already, eh?
That's, yeah.
Yep. Defensive trends.
The Los Angeles Chargers are on the clock.
With the 13th pick of the 2021 NFL entry draft, the Los Angeles Chargers will be selecting offensive lineman from Virginia Tech, Christian Darrisaw. The Chargers found their franchise QB last season in Herbert, and with the additions of Corey Linsley and Matt Filer through free agency, look for them to continue to add to the line by drafting Christian Darrisaw. Welcome to the club.
Good pick.
The Minnesota Vikings are on the clock. Now, with this pick, I had a few different directions to go, but just looking at best available for Minnesota at this point, because they have a lot of holes to fill, And the fact that he dropped this far, the Minnesota Vikings will select out of Penn State linebacker Micah Parsons. I think he's going to help them defensively, which they obviously need the help there. I mean, the offense they adjusted last year with adding Justin Jefferson. They've got the wide receivers, they got the quarterback, they got the running back. Yeah, they could probably use a little bit on offensive line too, but I mean, Micah Parsons being here, he's been projected the best linebacker in the draft, so why not take that and go best available and see what you can draft later. And now the New England Patriots are on the clock.
It's a steal at the 114.
I think so. I didn't think he'd be there. I was expecting other people that I have to take, but I figured he's there. I'm not going to pass up on that.
Okay, the New England Patriots are selecting Trey Lance, quarterback, North Dakota State. Yeah! The Pats haven't spent the first-round pick on a quarterback since 1993 when they picked Drew Bledsoe, but now's the time. So he's going to sit behind Cam for a year and really develop and have Belichick mold him into what he wants. And I think in the future he could be a big player.
Wow.
That's a big drop for him. That's a nice grab.
Yeah, I was going to,
for sure.
And the Patriots don't have to move up at that
Yeah.
rate. They can sit where they are and get the quarterback they want to.
So Trey over Mac Jones, that's an interesting one. I thought Mac Jones would have been a little higher.
I thought Trey would have been higher. You know, wasn't ready to take him there, but once I saw him fall, he's got to be the pick there.
Okay. All right, at number 16, the Cardinals are on the clock.
The Cardinals, they need a little bit of help here. I think mostly defensive-wise. So at number 16 pick in the NFL draft, the Arizona Cardinals are going to select cornerback Gregory Newsome II from Northwestern.
Nice.
Snipe me.
Ooh, we got a snipe. I like it.
Just about to pick him with the Raiders there.
Yeah, I mean, he needs the Cardinals, like you guys discussed last week, they need that help in the back there. And I think this guy's going to slot right in and fill that void right away for them. So,
Darn.
All right. Well, with that, the Las Vegas Raiders are now on the clock. Might need a little bit more time now since you took his player.
I think with the 17th pick of the 2021 NFL entry draft, the Las Vegas Raiders are going to select defensive edge Jalen Phillips out of the University of Miami, injecting some youth into that defensive line. Be a great ad for the Las Vegas Raiders and cornerstone of their imposing pass rush.
Not bad. I like it. All right. The Miami Dolphins are on the clock. I took the Miami Dolphins' other pick, so I'll be taking this one as well. And the Miami Dolphins will select running back Travis Etienne.
Whoa.
Hot take.
Wow.
Hot take.
Yep. They're still in need of a running back, I think. I know they got a few guys there, but I think they're going to solidify it, and they brought the wide receiver first. They're going to get the running back now, and they'll fill some holes later on, and they're just going to help Tua and bring in some more superstars and some firepower for him to use this season, and they're going to unleash him and hope that everything works out. So I think he's the number one running back in the draft. I think he's up there with the other two guys. We spoke about that last week, but I think on that Miami offense, I think he'll look good, and I think he'll do well, and he can take the dump passes that I think Tua is going to need to maybe get out of, this is sophomore season. He might still be doing a little bit of that, so he'll be able to take those down and be able to run. He can still run through the holes. He's shifty. He can do it all, so I like him there, and I think he'll surprise and do really well fantasy-wise if he goes there.
Is Lamar Jackson going to Miami? He was going to take the dump passes?
No.
Okay. Or Odell Beckham, sorry. I should have said.
Oh, okay. There you go. That makes more sense now. Washington football team are on the clock.
All right. I think I have my pick. I think I know where I want to go here. With the 19th pick in the NFL draft, the Washington football team are glad to select offensive line Elijah Vera Tucker from USC.
Good pick.
I like it. That'll definitely. I mean, I don't like it being a Cowboy fan, but I like
No,
it for
definitely
Washington.
not. But it's gonna help that O line. It's gonna protect Gibson. It's what they need right now.
Should be good. All right, Chicago, you are on the clock.
Okay, the Chicago.
And Trubisky's not available, so please try going somewhere else.
Okay, well, Trubisky's gone. Rats. Well, the Chicago Bears are taking Tevin Jenkins from Oklahoma State, offensive line. They've got so many holes to fill. They got, especially in the O-line. So they brought in Andy Dalton as a starter. So if he stands any chance, they're going to have to protect him well.
All right, the Colts are on the clock. All right, I'm going to butcher this guy's name. I already know that. But the Colts will be selecting, and again, I'm going best available at this point. The Colts have a pretty good offense and a pretty good defense, so there's not really much they need, but they could just kind of sit back and take what's there. I know we spoke a little bit about them taking a cornerback in the pre-talk last week, but a lot of the corners are off the board right now, and so I decided to go best available again, and they're going to take out of Michigan edge Kawiti Pay.
Yeah, you got it.
Pay? Did I get that right?
Yep. Surprised, only the second edge picked, one of the big money positions in football.
I mean, that's why I took him. I looking at the Colts, their team, like I said, they have pretty much everything there. So there is a few holes I think they need, but I think they're going to take those later now that all those cornerbacks were taken this early. And so they flipped the script a little bit, or at least I had to. And I went with best available, so I decided to go with the edge there and see what happens.
Yep.
Cause some more issues on defense.
Definitely a position in need, that's for sure.
So, all right, the Tennessee Titans are on the clock.
This is an interesting position for the Titans right now. Looking at what's gone, there's a few ways I want to go with this pick, so I'm gonna make a little decision here. I think what's best for the Titans at this pick in the first round will be cornerback Asante Samuel Jr. They need corner help, and also they need nickel help. So Asante Samuel comes into the league, and he can help them in both of those categories, which I think will be a huge help for the Tennessee Titans. I know they need offensive well, but I think they can do that in the later round.
All right. I was looking at him for the Colts there. I just I thought he would drop a little further. I guess I was wrong. With that, the New York Jets are on the clock. I see how quickly your picks just vanish when you think they're going to drop longer and they don't. It's crazy.
Exactly. With the 23rd pick of the 2021 NFL entry draft, the New York Football Jets will be selecting linebacker from the University of Tulsa, Zaven Collins, a player that can line up all over the field. Zaven Collins will one day be enshrined in the New York Jets Ring of Honor. Welcome to the team, Zaven.
Yeah, they're only 17 players away from a good team. This is good.
That's a steal of the draft, too. That late? Zaven Collins?
Yeah. A lot of guys are dropping. I don't know if it's just the way we see these teams picking or what, but if this is how it's going to play out, there's a lot of people dropping that are supposed to be higher. So with that, another Pittsburgh Steelers are on the clock. Go ahead.
Speaking of players dropping, this guy wasn't even on my radar. But with the 24th overall pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers are selecting Najee Harris, running back out of Alabama.
That's a great pick, man.
The Steelers have a few holes they needed to fill after losing some key players, but one of the big ones is running back. So Najee Harris on Pittsburgh, he's gonna be a superstar, I believe.
Oh yeah, that's a.
I'm surprised he got past you a few
pick.
times, Nick.
Unfortunately, the teams I had didn't need RBs really, so I couldn't take them. But definitely, I think a good landing spot for him in Pittsburgh there. I think he'll do well.
All right, Jacksonville Jaguars are on the clock. That's me. Just give me a moment.
Where do you guys think that puts Najee if he lands on Pittsburgh at the end of the season? Do you think that makes him a top 15 running back or possibly a top 10?
I could see if the Steelers continue to add more pieces on you figure out a nice center in the second round to replace Marquise Pouncey and maybe add another guy later round that they can develop. I think you can be a top 15 guy in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I see that too.
Yeah, I could see him being a top 15. I mean, the way he's built and what he does, he adds another threat to the pass catching, and he's also built like a tank to just bulldoze through the lines. So those goal line areas where Pittsburgh was seen to not really have many backs that can get in there is now a void filled with Najee.
It could be the second coming of the bus.
Yeah, I definitely think he'll. Yeah, I definitely think he'll eat any of the targets for any of the guys behind him. Like, I don't think there'll be much competition in the backfield. No, especially now that Connor's gone. Yeah. I mean, Snell and Samuel are pretty much nobodies in the running game. So if he goes there, he's going to be 3 down, goal line, pass game. So definite interest in Najee Harris if he ends up in Pittsburgh.
100%.
Well said, boys. Well, my pick is in, and again, Jacksonville Jaguars are in need of a lot of holes, so the Jacksonville Jaguars will select linebacker out of Notre Dame, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Yeah, you did pretty good. No, you did pretty good.
Oh, okay, good. He was also someone that we had a little higher on the board too, that kind of dropped there too. So it's interesting. I think these offensive wide receivers and these cornerbacks kind of snuck in there in those rounds, and they're pushing some good players to the back, which is only going to help the teams that are already really good.
You're just trying to redeem yourself with these names. Admit it.
And with that, the Cleveland Browns are on the clock.
My picks kind of changed a little for Cleveland here with some picks up above. But I think one of the biggest things that Cleveland wants to do is help out their guy on the defensive line there with Myles Garrett, getting him a partner on the other side. And I think the best way for them to do that is to draft defensive end Gregory Rousseau from Miami.
Nice.
And they did just sign Clowney.
Yes, they did.
But Clowney's probably hurt within the first 2 weeks or so, isn't he?
Training camp.
That's the normal way that Clowney works, right?
Meniscus.
I don't think that's a bad pick with Clowney. That's a good insurance marker.
No, I don't think it's a bad pick. I personally, I don't think it's the way they go, but I mean, I like it. It's a steal. I think it's a steal, one of the steals of the draft. It's a big money position, so.
This is what's going to change the draft, right? The people drafting change what we see and what we have them as. So
yeah, exactly.
With that, Baltimore Ravens are on the clock.
That's me. Okay, with the exception of Sammy Watkins, Ravens didn't get much done to upgrade their wide receiver position in free agency. So the Baltimore Ravens are selecting wide receiver Terrace Marshall Jr. out of LSU. Lamar Jackson needs a big, strong receiver on the outside, someone who can run every route and be a reliable target across the middle and deep. So that's Terrace Marshall right there. So I think it's rare to find somebody with that talent that he has this late in the first round, but that just shows you how deep the wide receiver class is this year. So he fits even with Sammy Watkins joining Baltimore in a 1-year deal.
Beautiful. I have Lamar in 2 leagues. I like that. I think it'll be nice to see him with some good wide receivers to see what he can do. So, yeah. Number 28, the New Orleans Saints.
I was hoping that with the 28th pick of the 2021 NFL entry draft, I was hoping the Saints would have been able to pick Zaven Collins, but he went. I had them picking Asante Samuel Jr., but he got taken. And I just got sniped with Terrace Marshall Jr., who I thought would have looked great on the Saints. So here, it can go two ways. I would love to see Rondale Moore fall to the Saints and for them to add another speedster that can stretch the defense. But I think they stick defensively with the top corners gone. The New Orleans Saints are going to pick linebacker Jamin Davis out of Kentucky. It's going to fill a much-needed hole in the New Orleans Saints linebacker core, and he's a player that fits the mold of a Sean Payton linebacker. So he had a great pro day. He's great measurables. If he falls there, and this is the guy that the Saints pick on draft day, I'm going to be excited, and I'm looking forward to jamming with the Saints.
You're jamming.
You've been waiting long to say that one, weren't you?
Oh, yeah. He wrote that one up today. He's like, I got to use this slide.
All right. At 29, the Green Bay Packers are on the clock.
They forfeit their pick.
Nope. We're taking the pick. The Green Bay Packers are going to select kicker.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. No, never mind.
Quarterback.
The Green Bay Packers should probably take, I believe we were talking about it, a defensive player here to help out that. But I think they're going to appease their fans, and I'm going to appease the fans and take the wide receiver that we should have taken last year. And we are going to be taking wide receiver Rashad Bateman to pair with
Felipe Franks.
Adams and give Aaron Rodgers somebody to throw to on the other side. And I think that'll definitely change the outlook of the Green Bay Packers a little bit. I think they're going to be a lot stronger with that, and teams are going to have some problems covering both these guys, plus Aaron Jones. And I think maybe this could be enough to get them past that conference championship if all goes well again.
That's going to be a dangerous one, too.
You think Aaron Rodgers will be happy with
well.
the fifth wide receiver taken in the draft?
I think he'll be happy with any wide receiver taken in the draft.
He just wants help, okay?
Rashad Bateman's better than DeVonta Smith.
Yeah.
I think that's a steal at 29 to get Rashad Bateman, so I'm happy with that. And at number 30, the Buffalo Bills are on the clock.
Okay, Buffalo Bills are selecting. They're going defensive line. They're going to take Christian Barmore out of Alabama.
Nice pick.
He's a big boy. And it's just what Buffalo needs these days.
A little defense doesn't hurt nobody. They say defense wins championships, and I think Chris was saying last week, defense wins championships and offense wins games. Is that what did I say that correctly, Chris?
Yeah. Offense wins games and defense wins championships.
Buffalo definitely needs the help on defense to compete with teams like the Saints, so they got to go defensive here, I think.
All right. Well, with the number 30 pick, the runners-up last season's Super Bowl, the Kansas City Chiefs, and what do they need?
This is the
Or what are they
31st
getting?
overall pick. And I think the biggest thing that the Kansas City Chiefs need right now is something to help protect Patrick Mahomes and give him a little more time in the pocket there. As we saw in those playoff games, he was scrambling out there trying to be a magician, but I think it's time to help him out. And I think that Kansas City is going to take out of Alabama offensive tackle Alex Leatherwood.
Chris tried to give this guy last week to 7 different teams, so this is good.
Yeah,
He's a good
had him
player,
tied to
man.
a lot of teams. So
He's a good player.
You mean KC didn't go wide receiver
No. I
don't
think
after they failed miserably 4 or 5 times trying to on free agency to get a wide receiver? Interesting.
I mean, deep enough they can get one later in the draft.
True.
Even running backs, man. You guys really see 2 running backs going in the first? It's possible, but you don't pay running backs anymore. And being a first-round draft pick, your extension is 5 years, right? Anything other than that, I think, is a 4-year extension. So I definitely see Etienne and Harris going in the first, but I don't see 3 running backs. As much as I like Javonte, I don't see 3 running backs go.
Yeah, I agree with that.
No.
But unless, let's see what Tampa Bay does. We still have Tampa Bay. So with that, Tampa Bay, you're on the clock, and Chris does not see you taking a running back. So let's see what happens.
No. To close out the first round of the 2021 NFL entry draft and stopping his complete free fall, as most predict him going as the 103, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are picking the successor to Tom Brady, quarterback out of Alabama, Mac Jones.
Wow. Mac
Sitting
Jones
a year-
becomes...
Yeah,
I
sitting
was
a
gonna say
year
Mac-
in that. Yep, go ahead.
No, you go. I'll go at the end.
Sitting a year behind Tom Brady, I think is only going to benefit the one-year star at Alabama, bringing them into the 2022 season. If Tom Brady retires, that's a big if. But even if he doesn't, sitting 2 years behind Tom Brady is only going to be beneficial for Mac Jones.
Good pick. I like it.
So I was going to say Mac Jones becomes the Lamar Jackson of a few years ago. And then I was going to say, but what about Blaine Gabbert?
I think the fact that Mac Jones is there at 132, they kind of shun Blaine Gabbert, push him off to the side. But yeah, I mean, if he does happen to fall to 132, it's a great pick for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get their next starter. I mean, it'll kind of be the same situation as Lamar, but Lamar Jackson had the elite Joe Flacco in front of him instead of the GOAT in Tom Brady. So a little bit of a difference, but I definitely see them, if Mac Jones was to fall all the way down to 132, which would be a complete free fall, I definitely see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking him.
Nice. All right, guys. Well, that's our mock draft. And looking at the board right now, I mean, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I see 14 offensive players that could assist you in fantasy this year between some running backs, wide receivers, and quarterbacks, and 1 tight end. So these are probably the biggest names you're going to remember in this draft, the guys that you're going to be looking at. And as you can see, the draft, unfortunately, is not all about fantasy. It's about a lot of guys helping others. So these offensive linemen are going to help those running backs, wide receivers, quarterbacks get open, and the defense are going to, stop the people on the field so that your offense could get back out there for fantasy-wise. Or if you still have DSTs, these could be the guys that are going to be getting you some points on that side. But that's our take on it. We'll see how close we actually are after the draft. Hopefully we did hit on some of these, but we'll do a recap later on. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, but that's it from us, and have yourselves a good night. Ciao.
Ciao.